Lee Hall served as my mentor in college. And I am very honored to sit in with you guys on today and talk about what happened at the board meeting, right? Now. Again, it takes money to do what we do. I want to send a shout out to my sister affiliates, the Jackson Advocate newspaper, Greenwood Mornings, GWOOD Live, Lee Hall, and DMJ Daryl Moore Jr., right? And we want to make certain that we ask you guys to please support independent media, right? Because you hear the song, I got my boots on the ground, right? Yeah, you got your boots on the ground, but it costs to put your boots on the ground. It costs you a lot to put the boots on the ground. It's not easy. Mike Magazine did print out another magazine. We have on the cover Leon Seals out of Rankin County, who's our Man of the Year. And on the flip side, because we do a double cover issue, you have a mother, Kashiel Bale, out of Leland, whose son, Kadarius Lamar Smith, was run over by a police officer in the Leland, from the Leland Police Department. And so we're asking the question, what does justice look like across the Mississippi Delta area? And if you would like a copy of the Mike magazine, just ask Lee Hall over there in the Greenwood area, and we make certain to get you one. And again, it takes money to do what it is that we do. And we are so glad that Lee Hall is still in the Greenwood area doing this thing. Now, let's shift gears. We're going to go on and talk about what are we going to talk about, Andrew? We're going to talk about the way the vote went on yesterday. Okay, we're going to talk about the way the vote went on yesterday, and shout out to the DMJ radio, right, for bringing Greenwood live across. And we want you guys to please go and subscribe. Please go and subscribe to GWOOD Live on YouTube. See, listen, there's a method to it. When we see that we're getting major feedback, we have over 1,000 views from what happened on yesterday. Now, the DMJ radio has, I think, close to 12,000, right? We still need you guys to go like, follow, subscribe, GWOOD Live, right? And the DMJ radio on social media and the Mike magazine. We are growing by leaps and bounds, right? Now, with that being said, let me switch up on. Let me switch up right quick. Okay, now here we go. And if you are watching on social media, we want you to know that all is not lost, right? And if you're looking, you'll see there is a picture of the Honorable, the Honorable Ken Cox, Mayor Greenwood, right? And you'll see also a picture of Attorney Carlos Palmer. And you'll also see a picture of Demetrius Bidale. Now, why did you put a picture? Please, if you're out there, please share this. Why would you put a picture of Carlos Palmer and Demetrius Bidale? Well, one represents yes from yesterday, and one represents no from yesterday. Now, in all, let's be clear. Greenwood, let's talk about this thing, y'all. This is not bad for Mayor Ken Cox's first agenda. Why do you say that, Angie? Because now my math, I wasn't good in math, right? I went into journalism. But I counted 8 yes, 8 no, 2 tabled. We're going to talk about it. 8 yes, 8 no, and 2 tabled. Now, people are wondering what is really going on in Greenwood, right? Because listen, let's be clear. We have had a string of shootings that have led to fatalities, right? And if you go back and look at the coverage that we provided to you on yesterday, you will see that room was packed. I'm not talking about people here, there, and scattered about. No. It was packed. And people are concerned. Some for one thing, other another. And that's a good thing. We want you to be concerned. Why? We want you to follow your vote. Don't just vote to say, hey, I did my part. No. I always encourage, even with the presidential election, I put information out there for people to educate themselves. Now, traditionally, I have voted as a Democrat, but now I consider myself an independent, right? Not too happy with what I'm seeing on either side, but now, when we're talking about Blacks, generally they vote Democrat, right? And it doesn't hurt that you voted for a mayor who, listen, I'm married, okay, but I'm not blind. I'm married, but I can see, and that boy looks good. That's a good looking boy. Let me tell you something. If I was on that board and they say, all right, resolution appointing Donald Brock Jr. as city attorney pro tem for the city of Greenwood, my hand be up first. They don't even have to ask me. It's protocol in how you go about voting, right? Listen, in my opinion, give them whatever you ask for. Everybody raise your hand. Hey. Put your hands up. Kind of like it's a stick up. You know what I'm saying? The boy is some kind of good looking. And for that alone, now, you may say that's pretty shallow. Call it whatever you would like. That's your opinion. But get it, boy, what he asked for. Listen, it ain't every day that you got a good looking boy. I'm sorry, man, because I want to keep it in perspective. Who is knowledgeable of what is going on in the whole city of Greenwood, not just on the south end, but we've heard here on Greenwood Mornings that, the analogy that Lee Hall has used when it comes to when it comes to the emergency state of the south end of Greenwood. And he used the analogy of what analogy did he use? He used the analogy of emergency room. You run to the emergency room when it's an emergency. Now, granted, some of us have gone, and I'm guilty, to the emergency room, and it was for a common cold. Now, I didn't know it was a common cold. Now, you understand what I'm saying? Follow it. Go with me here. I didn't know it was a common cold. The symptoms were so severe. I thought I was dying. So hey, get the doctor in here. I don't want to see a nurse practitioner. I need the doctor. You know how you try to call some shots and the ball is not in your court. Yeah, I did that. Now, you may not admit to it, but I done it. But it wasn't necessary. So you know what they did? They saw me and everything that I thought was important, they addressed it. But you know what they told me? Let's get you to follow up with your primary doctor in the morning, right? Wrote me a prescription, went on by my little way. Now, the south end of Greenwood is in desperate need of emergency care, right? I mean, like, we need not a nurse practitioner, a doctor to go in and make certain that the crime goes down. We won't do it all overnight. We got to be reasonable here. Now, let me get to this agenda. Excuse me. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I'll just drop it later. Now, it says resolution 1. Okay, number 1. Everybody, we were all hanging on to our seats, right? Now, I was in Jackson. We were school shopping as we were, listening. They said, resolution reappointing Vicky Lott as clerk of the council. What they say? Yes. Now, she must be real beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, when listen, I know y'all may say I'm a little shallow, but Vicky Lott must be a good-looking woman. Shout out to her. They said yes to her. Then we went on. It says resolution reappointing Carlos Palmer as municipal judge for the city of Greenwood, Mississippi. You see him on the screen if you're looking. If you are tuned in to the Mike Magazine on YouTube or Facebook, you are looking at Carlos Palmer, native of Greenwood, if I'm not mistaken. They said yes. You know why they said yes? Well, if you ask me, it's because of how he looked. Not just solely on that. Now, good looking boy. Man. Give him what he asked for. So they say yes to Carlos Palmer, right, for municipal judge. I'm telling y'all, listen at this. Number 3, resolution appointing Angela Kimbrough as public defender for the city of Greenwood. Now, we share the same name. And I would like to think that they voted for her. Come on, go with me here. Because she looks good. Not only does she look good, she knows her stuff. Now, I don't have a picture of her up here. For the sake of time, I did 1 yes and 1 no. Okay. She got to look good. Her name is Angela. Let's go to number 4. It says resolution appointing Shantaria Flowers as chief administrative officer for the city of Greenwood. Now, let me say this, put this disclaimer out there. As I look back over my career in radio, majority of that time was spent in sales. Go with me. And in sales, you go from potential client to potential client. And you don't always get a yes. What are you saying, Angie? Well, they voted no. Listen, though. Listen, follow along with me. They voted no. And I'm not saying they voted no because she's not good looking. You know. That's not, let's be clear. That is not what I mean. But to get a yes on your agenda for your first agenda speaks volumes. And he got 8 of them. Now we're dealing with the first no. Okay. Now in sales, now let me say this. Majority of my time was spent in sales and radio, right? And I served in the capacity of a general manager, all of which I love to tell people, don't look at my success, right? I know you think that was me, but that was Lee Hall. I truly believe in going to get a mentor, right? Ken Cox needs to surround himself with a mentor, in my opinion. One who is wise and knows how to respect people's opinions and decisions and not take things personally, because in the grand scheme of things, it's all about the entire city of Greenwood. It's not about your feelings. You got to go and remind yourself of why you did what you did. And we don't want it to be because, well, this, that, and the third, for a lack of better terms or words, right? But anyway, I served in the capacity of a general manager. And when I did, I had people who worked under me. I had people who were on my radio station, and DeWitt was one of them. People! Listen. Well, anyway, sometimes I would have to go out with my people who were in sales, right? And if I have to go as a general manager, I would tell my people, I am the closer. As long as you can get them to the point where they are considering doing business with us, right? Let me know. We have our little meeting and everything. And so we meet together. We go together to the client. Well, may have told my worker no, but, right? See, there's a difference in just no and no but. So when they come and get me as a closer, general manager of a radio station, I close it out successfully, because no today doesn't mean no forever, right? So I just want to encourage everybody out there. It doesn't mean that you don't look good. No on yesterday for the first agenda just means no for now, right? Doesn't mean no forever, but it could. It just depends on how good you look. I'm sorry. I'm just a little shallow here. Just doing a little bit for entertainment too, right? It helps if you fix yourself up. It helps if you smell good a little bit. It helps if you put a little pep in your step. Now, thank you so much. It just come across. Thank you so much for interacting with us via text message. And again, if you would like to interact with us on text message, and because we do have them coming through, 662-207-2077. Just double it up, 207-2077. This is what just came across my desk. It says, Mayor Ken Cox made a post 14 hours ago, and it says, big dog, since we don't have him on the show this morning. And it's not necessary, because this is good right here. It says, big dog, I prayed to you for this position. I'm built for it. Let's get it. Marathon, not sprint. Listen, Mayor Cox understands. Let me tell you something. He understood the assignment. But let me tell you now, if you're looking on social media, you see a picture of him looking straight into the camera, but there's another one where his head is down. That's a still shot from the video that we did on yesterday, the video coverage. Now, don't think that his head is bowed because, he is sad. No, he was speaking at that moment. But body language speaks volumes, right? What we need is for people to understand that everything is not going to happen as we would like for it to happen. But know today. Oh, okay, just got to come in here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Listen at this. Says, yes, I agree. A no today may be a no on tomorrow. That's the mindset. I'm sorry. It said, yes, I agree. I think what he's saying, a no today may be a yes on tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it says, hold on. We got these little bubbles. Again, 662-207-2077. Just double it up. Just double that 7 up. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. It says, yes, I agree. A no today, maybe a yes on tomorrow. That's the mindset I had as a radio sales rep. And that's Kenneth McClung. Shout out to Kenneth McClung. That's my guy. And when I tell you, Kenneth was very successful under our umbrella when I was general manager. Very successful. See, let me tell you something. People will buy because it's you. Not that they necessarily need the advertisement, but because they believe in what you do. They know you have integrity. They know you bring something to the table. So I just wanted to put that out there. That disclaimer was pretty long, but that was our first note. So we're gonna go on. Excuse me. So it says, number 4, it says resolution appointing Shantaria Flowers as Chief Administrative Officer for the City of Greenwood. They voted no. Now, listen, some of the people went I'm talking about eerily quiet. Like something in Hollywood. Eerily quiet. Now, we're going on to the next one. It says resolution appointing Margaret Meeks, Meeks, as city attorney for the city of Greenwood. They said no. They said no. Got another comment here. We wanted to, excuse me, want to acknowledge these comments. It says, what does looks have to do with the price of tea in China? Each person nominated met all the qualifications. Mayor Cox has done his homework. And I must say, for those who may just be tuning in, that we did say that was for the sake of entertainment. You got to understand what the Mike magazine is, an entertainment magazine. And I've always wanted to have a career in comedy. And I know you may get your little pennies in a bunch, in a wad, but just go with me. Just go with me here. And I know Lee is more serious. He has a more serious tone. And even when I call him, Lee, loosen up a little bit now. Hey, let's get a little relaxed and laugh a little bit, But anyway, thank you so much for that comment. We want to acknowledge all of Lee Hall's people on today. Now, number 6. Resolution approving the reappointment of Charlie Swayze III as prosecuting attorney for the city of Greenwood. Now, just by listening to the last name, right? Swayze. My mind automatically goes to Patrick Swayze, but where are we going with this? You already know, and I don't even have to say it again. They said yes. We had someone say, now, how can you vote no against a chief administration that the mayor is suggesting that will work directly with him? The mayor is an administration. The mayor is in an administration that administers day-to-day operation for the city. So when looking at the meeting on yesterday, they're not allowing him to do that. But we're gonna talk about that too. We're gonna get to that too, because what we got to remember is this. And thank you for your input. These council members are voting in the best interests of the people in their wards, right? You got to remember, and again, we got to respect the no. Listen, do you think I would be successful? I was number one under the umbrella I worked under in radio as general manager. I was number one, right? Held that position for a good while. Shout out to Lee Hall for his mentoring me, because, when I stepped into the position, I was new in managing it. Listen, I had to hire and unhire people, right? And y'all, when it was time for me to let my people go, you know what one lady told me? She said, at that time it was Simpson. Miss Simpson, I'll work for you any day of the week. And this is after me saying, we're going to have to let you go, right? There's a difference in serving in a position of management or leadership and, you cutting people off and, for whatever reason, because for me, I had to take my calls from the owners of the station. It wasn't me, right? But I had to say what was necessary. And I never forgot it. And one thing I always told myself, that if I ever served in a position of leadership, right, I wanted to be the boss that I always desired to have in my life. That's the boss I wanted to be. And that's what I was. And I just, when I tell you, I thank God for Lee Hall coaching me. We didn't always agree. But I thank God he was there as a mentor, because it was so necessary. See, I could have gone and said, hey, don't tell me nothing. I got it. No. Wisdom says, get someone with more experience than you and sit under their tutelage. You may not always agree with them, right? Because you're going to have your own ideas. Okay, we got to come in here on social media. Chief Terry Tyler, chief of Web, he says, I'm saying police chief of Web. He says they are supposed to vote for the best interests. And he has exclamation marks behind it. Thank you so much, Chief, for that. And he's a new chief in Web. and we don't take this lightly. Yes, they're supposed to vote for the best interests. But again, you need to get a mentor. For me now. Wisdom says, don't go it alone now. Don't go it alone. Right? Sit at the feet of someone who's done it way longer than you. Glean from it what's necessary for you in your city, right? Because this is something that you asked for. This is something you prayed for. This is something that, judging on what the comment was, This is something you prayed for, right? And it comes with the territory. So word of advice, don't hang your head. I don't care if it hurts you to your stomach. I like to brag on my mayor over here in Greenville. The Honorable Mayor, Attorney, Mayor Eric D. Simmons. He sits there. He takes it in. He kind of reminds me of Obama. You know, when Obama was sitting at that table, well, he was at the debate and he couldn't cut off his opponent. You know what I'm saying? Obama had a sheet of paper and a pen. And I imagine he was saying, duly noted. He wrote it down. You never saw him hang his head. And you know, to the mayor's defense, Mayor Ken Cox may have been thinking of something. I don't know. But Obama held his head high, even when he disagreed or when they didn't vote the way they needed to vote and things like that. He found a way to turn a negative into a positive, like what I'm saying today. No, today or yesterday in the board meeting could be a yes tomorrow. And that's what I told myself in sales. I'm telling you, I was so successful to the point where the girl from the other the radio station in Greenwood came over to my station. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even know who she was. They said, oh, she's from the other station. I said, really? Not only that, she said, who is this youngster? Because it sometimes takes younger people to come in and carry that torch on, right? Who is this youngster getting all these commercials? Not on an FM station, on this AM station. Who is this youngster? It was Angela Simpson at that time. But I couldn't take the credit. I still don't take the credit. Shout out to Lee Hall. Excuse me. For tutoring me. Hey, taking time with me. Lee would even come over to the station. And he would tell me, hey, it's okay. What I love about Mr. Lee Hall, even when I was on the sideline as a student, coloring the games, you know, because I say some outlandish stuff. Mr. Hall, well, you know, he's standing there and he's got his hands on his hips and he looked like he's about to do the Tootsie Roll. And after the game, I said, Mr. Hall, I know that didn't have nothing to do with anything, did it? He'll say, that's all right. That's okay. I say stuff like, ooh, he running like he about to let it go. Listen, when I tell you, having a mentor who tells you it's okay to make a mistake. It's all right. That's why I'm here today. Lee Hall says, hey, it's okay. It's all right. And we even laugh about it. You got to learn to laugh at yourself sometimes. You can't take yourself too seriously. Right? You can't take yourself too seriously. Let me get on back and read some more of this. Number 7 says, resolution approving the reappointment of Valerie Dorsey as special prosecutor for housing and other code violations. Yes. They voted yes. Number 8, resolution appointing Darwin Green as acting public works director for the city of Greenwood. Excuse me. For the city of Greenwood. They said no. Number 9 says resolution appointing Martrellis L. McDowell as acting fire chief for the city of Greenwood. No. Resolution appointing Demetrius B. Dale as acting chief of police for the city of Greenwood? No. Now, let me pause right here because public safety is always important. Always. It should be at the forefront of everybody's mind. Now, earlier I told you that Chief Terry Tyler weighed in on the discussion, right? He's a chief in Webb. Webb understands that they need to put public safety first. Let me bring it home, brag a little bit about my mayor and the city council. They understand that public safety is important. Why are you talking about Greenville? Well, that's where I live, okay? I've lived in Greenwood before, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my findings, right? I ain't just learned about Greenwood, okay? Greenville led the way when it comes to public safety. Greenville led the way because, excuse me, with this curfew thing, we had to get a handle on what was going on in the city. I was able to interview Mayor Simmons and see what his spiel was, and he got a little, I won't say his subject and verbs didn't agree, but he used the word ain't. He said, it ain't cool. I'm paraphrasing, but he used the word ain't. It ain't cool when you hear shots fired throughout the night. That ain't cool. And so he had to make a decision. And what I love about the councilmen here, they saw the vision. They understood that public safety, they had to have a strategy. Right. Now, shortly after he did that, you had other places. I imagine they were calling him, say, hey, look, we're going to follow your lead. Why do you say that? Because you got Leland follow suit. You got other places, I think Hollandale, Metcalf, Indianola. People were taking this thing seriously. Why do you say that? Because let me tell you something. If you don't shut that city down, you know what they're going to say on social media? They're going to say what they said before Indianola shut it down. Hey, party in Indianola. I'm telling you what they said. Party in Indianola. And you heard people from Indianola, which is my hometown, say, hey, don't bring that over here. Well, you can say don't bring it over here, but if the establishments are open past a certain time, guess what they're going to do? They will take it to your city, right? And you will see an uptick in crime in your area. Well, you got people that's doing it in broad daylight. Yeah, it might be. But you have to have a plan A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth in times like that. They said no to Demetrius Bedale. Bedale is in Greenwood. Bedale is a veteran. Bedale has paid his dues. He has run for office more than once. And each time after he would run for office, I would ask the people, some in Greenwood, what's going on? Some are in favor of him, some were not. And again, when I say council members are voting in the best interest for the people in their ward, that's, hey, in my opinion, that's what they felt was necessary. But listen, no, yesterday, maybe yes, for the next board meeting. But one thing is for certain, they need somebody in that position. Now, as I spoke earlier, I talked about how the competition came over to my station, AM station, matter of fact, to see who the youngster was. And when I tell you, I don't take credit because I had a mentor. I don't. I was number one for a reason. Young, definitely, but not dumb. Young, but not dumb. I told the owners of the station, I said, listen, I will help you grow your business for 1 year. 1 year. I kept my end of the bargain. I took them to the top as much as I could. I had the mentor necessary to help me with that success. Sometimes you need a younger person to show you what their mentor has taught them. And Greenwood spoke when they voted for Ken Cox as mayor. God-fearing man. They voted for him. Said, hey, we need somebody young, vibrant, understanding, who's knowledgeable of what's going on. Good looking, yes, but he's smart. Let's not take away from that. It helps. You know what I'm saying. Maybe I get this from my mom. Let me tell you something. I remember when I was asked to run for office in my hometown. And I did. But the guy who was my opponent, Dana Myrick, I think Dana served in the capacity of a firefighter at one point. Oh my God. You think Mayor Ken Cox is good looking. The guy who ran against me was, oh my God, he was drop dead gorgeous. And I'm thinking to myself, how will I pull this off? Right? I said, Jesus. First time running. And last. And let me tell you why. This young man went campaigning through our ward. And he stopped by my mom's house. Listen. He stopped by listen to me good. Stopped by where my parents live. So I went home later on that day and I talked to my mom and, I'm just excited, and she knocked all the air out of me. Why do I say that? Because she said, I want you to take a look at this. He left some material there that indicates that he had been by. Well, she said, this is who I'm voting for. Knocked all the air out of my ego, my chest, my purse, my anything that had air in it, okay? Anything would win. Knocked it all out. I said, Mama, you don't even vote. But I'm going to vote this time. I said, Mama, why you voting? Girl, this man look good. Listen. So maybe I get it from my mama, But again, it helps when you have an individual, male or female, who's well put together, knowledgeable, and everything like that. But ultimately, God-fearing, right? We're in the Bible Belt, and we do say that we are God-fearing people. Not to say that B-Dale doesn't look good now, because, he's a part of a fraternity that lets you know he's good looking, So that's not to say that B-Dale is not a good looking brother. He has paid his debt to society. Now, when I saw that Mayor Ken Cox had B-Dale on the agenda, the first thing that came to my mind is, hey, trust the process. Trust the process. Why do you say that, Angie? Because guess what? Just like somebody said, who texted in at 662-207-2077 said, he needs people he can trust. And the first thing that came to my mind is, I guess he's able in his mind to trust B-Dale. This has got to be somebody who he can trust, right? And I'm not mad about it. Again, I said, give the man what he wants. Give him what he wants. Because see, I'm pro Ken Cox at the end of the day. For whatever reason. I am pro Ken Cox. And this is not my first time running into Mayor Ken Cox. So let's back this train up a little bit, right? Mayor Ken Cox has been featured in the Mike magazine before. And again, I've lived in Greenwood before. I am no stranger to LaFleur County, right? This is not his first time running, and he's just out there. He was matter of fact, he was in Greenville, since you want to know why I'm talking about Greenville. He was in Greenville giving out gift cards, I think it was for Christmas, to the people in our community. And he brought some familiar faces with him. And man, we high-fived, and the young lady it brought, I hugged her, and it was just refreshing to see those faces from Greenwood and Greenville. It was just awesome. And when I tell you approachable, he's approachable, but he's firm. He's serious-minded, right? He's no pushover. But I think he's smart enough to know that, he should surround himself with people who are rooting for him and will be honest with him. Because politics is what one of my doctor friends, Dr. Felicia King, would say is politricks, right? And I would like to say he made good on his promise. Maybe B-Dale is somebody who he really trusted. And it's no reason to get upset. This interim position for 90 days, right? And I want to tell B-Dale, don't hold your head down. This ain't B-Dale's first rodeo. B-Dale, he knows. He knows. But with that said, I want us to understand something. I know public safety should be at the forefront, but I am trusting the process. I am going to follow along with what the mayor and the board are doing. He got 8 yes, 8 no, 2 tabled. B-Dale is number 10 on the agenda. And again, that was a no. That was a hard no. Why do you say that? Because, man, it was almost quiet in the room. Right? Now, what reason? I don't know. I've not interviewed anybody. And only they can tell you why they were quiet or why they didn't vote yes for interim. Only they can tell you why. It's after 10 o'clock. And Greenwood morning is only 1 hour. But since we're here, we're going to keep talking a little bit. Now, that was, B-Dale will be 90 days. But there are people whose names have been put out there to put their application in for the actual position, right? And what I'm believing is this council, they don't want somebody who's from Greenwood. Now, in my opinion, I would say we need a white police chief. But if you know anything about Greenwood, you know that Greenwood has had an opportunity to have a white chief more than once. My opinion, which may not matter to anybody, but I think we need somebody younger who understands what Greenwood needs. And not just to put somebody there just to say, oh, they're good looking. Now, that was entertainment purposes, right? No, someone who is truly qualified, who is willing to shut out the noise and understand that Greenwood, especially on the South End, is in need of emergency care. They're bleeding. They need surgery. They're bleeding to the point where our babies are bleeding. We're having fatalities, right? The chief would be the chief for the whole city, right? We got names out there. Sherrod Reed is one name that has come up. Sherrod Reed is one who had been, excuse me, going and doing things like rallies. Sherrod Reed has done things that would keep him active openly, so people will know exactly where he stands when it comes to Greenwood. Sherrod Reed is one who is an instructor. He's gone from place to place. He's even gone on social media. And yesterday, what did he say yesterday? Well, on yesterday, he talked about some aldermen. Let's just say this. In my hometown, we had 3 aldermen who did not show up to the board meeting just recently in Indianola. 3 black aldermen. Now people say, oh, let's not talk about race, but they're black. We're going to talk about it. Because when it's time to vote, we say vote black. So let's talk about the black aldermen who some are upset with. At least the people in Greenwood showed up. And they're going to walk that walk and talk that talk, and they're not going to throw a rock and hide their hand. You know where they stand. They're not going to miss the meeting. And for that, I'm grateful. However, in Indianola, this is election year, right? And I just want to encourage people to remember what's happening. Anyway, Sherrod Reed did speak on yesterday, and he talked a lot about the responsibility of those in the community and what's necessary. And you guys can go and listen to it. It's out there on the Mike Magazine's Facebook page. But again, Sherrod Reed's name is one that came up. And another name that has come up is DeMarcus Peoples. DeMarcus Peoples is the assistant chief over in Coffeyville. He's no rookie to being a chief, right? And qualified. Listen, the young man's resume is just as long as one with 20 years experience. Diligent. Has a mentor. I think he's from the next county over, if I'm not mistaken. And so why am I saying that? Because I saw on social media where a young lady out of Greenwood said, we need to get him to apply for the position. not interim, said, we need to get him to apply to be the chief. Well, I know some people say, well, again, in a case like this, I would say we need a white chief, but we've had the opportunity in Greenwood to have a white chief, right? Why do I say we need a white one? Well, first of all, in the Black community, what happens is, and what I've observed as an investigative journalist is this. We have people who will get a slap on the wrist, or, they let them go because that's a cousin of a friend. That's my fraternity brother. That's my church member. That's my some type of affiliation. And with a white chief, oftentimes, you don't have that problem because they are allowed to, they're going to give them everything they need, first of all. They're going to call a spade. And they are going to stand with their officers. There's no question if they back who they have hired. But that's not the case in Greenwood. Greenwood has had a white chief before. In my opinion, I think we need somebody younger. Right? That's just my opinion. Now, I don't know what the council or the board is looking for an interim chief, right? But we're talking past 90 days. We need somebody younger with understanding and connections to people like Lynn Fitch, connection with people who will say, hey, listen, we're going to come in and we're going to train your people. We're going to come in. Hey, we're going to do this, that, and the third. We're going to do that community policing that's necessary. We're going to work with you because we like you and we know your track record. Kind of like what I did when I was general manager at the radio station. But we need an interim in Greenwood soon as possible. And I just pray that the Honorable Ken Cox has a plan A, B, C, because somebody needs to be in there ASAP. Now, I don't know that he will present Bedale again as interim, or if Bedale will just go on and apply past that 90-day mark, right? Some people say, if you're interim, it's your job to lose, right? Meaning that if whoever that interim is, they may use that person as the actual chief, right? Just slide the person on in there. Is it fair to the applicants who have come and taken the opportunity to apply? In my opinion, no. I said the top 3 people should be considered. And they need to bring their A game. Don't just show up to Greenwood and apply because you think that's going to be easy. Because listen, your work is cut out for you. Your work is going to be cut out for you. You got to be able to hit the ground running. They need an interim like today. All right, let's go to number 11. Resolution appointing H. Donald Brock Jr. as City Attorney Pro Tem for the City of Greenwood. Yes. Resolution authorizing Mayor Ken Cox to be added as an authorized signer on all city bank accounts. Yes. See, let me tell you something. We got to give this council, this board, credit. If it was personal, let me tell you something. If they wanted to be petty, they could have held it up. They could have said, no. Let's table it. Right. We need to figure out a sweet spot, right, where we can marry the two. And again, in marriage, it's not always easy. Come on now, it's not always easy. Shoot. The first year may be full of turbulence for the Honorable Mayor Ken Cox. However, when I see 8 yes, 8 no, we batting at 100. That's no reason to get bent out of shape and say, well, because he didn't get the people who we thought he was supposed to get, that he didn't get anything. That's not true. And let's not put that narrative out there. If they wanted to be petty, listen, number 12 on the agenda, they could have said, resolution authorizing Mayor Kendrick Cox to be added as an authorized signer on all city bank accounts. Let's table it. But they didn't. And some people might be saying, oh, they got to put him on the bank accounts. They got to do this. And they're showing you who they are, how they vote. And what I like about this board, they're not throwing a rock and hiding their hands. They're not missing the meetings. They are there. And for that, I give them credit and I say thank you. I'm serious about that. Now, somebody texted across and said, Miss Dot went off. Miss Dot, she went off. Yeah, Miss Dot, she went off. Let me go back to these comments here. Okay, we got a comment here from a 374 number. It says, good morning, Miss Mike Magazine. It seems like, now they say seems. It seems praying for Greenwood. Let's deal with that. Let's deal with that right quick. Well, they say it seems like the council wants the black mayor to fail. Well, I wish you would say why you feel like that, because I'm telling you, when I'm breaking these numbers down, 8 yes, 8 no, 2 tabled, to me, that's a win. What they say, doggone it, a win is a win. A win is a win. This is his agenda. This is his agenda. This is Mayor Kendrick Cox's agenda. A win is a win. A win is a win. Now, that's your opinion and you're entitled to it, and you feel that way for a reason. For the person who texted in at the 374 number. But a win is a win. And I want you guys to, I don't want you to get discouraged. Because like I said, in sales, when I was general manager, I was the closer, right? Yes will come eventually. You might have to go, come back, revisit this thing. Doesn't mean that they hate anybody. We don't want people to think because they voted no that they hate these people. See, we have to remember that your board votes in the best interest of their people, which is supposed to be for the greater good of the entire city or town, the respective town, not just Greenwood, right? And my thing is, I don't want to, will lean into the narrative that they don't want this black mayor. They don't want him to succeed. No. I think there needs to be some type of come to Jesus moment, some type of function where they can all get together with the community. Let me tell you, after something like this, as a marketing person or public relations person, because that's what I do, if now, but I'm not, if I was in Ken Cox's administration, what I would do now is push forward to have a town hall meeting. Have a town hall meeting, whether it's virtual or in person, right? Whether it's virtual or in person. Virtual would probably be best. I would encourage him as his PR person to do a virtual town hall right away. Why? Because even though they say yes to some of the things, we need to now hear from the constituents of the wards, of the people who voted no, especially them. We really need to hear from them, because we want to know if that no truly is a true no, right? If it truly represents what they want. Because right now, I'm just doing my commentary, right? And I have a right to my opinion. But if I were his PR person, I'd say, listen, Mayor, we got to get a virtual town hall meeting right away. Why? Because we need to know, we need to hear from the people about these no's, right? Now, may not mean a hill of beans to anybody in Greenwood under the sound of my voice, but it's worth listening to. Hey, what I love about my mayor here in Greenville, I can talk to him. He's approachable, right? Mayor Simmons is very approachable. And I go to him as a journalist. I said, listen, Mayor, we need to hear from your chief. He'll say, Ms. Butler, why you need to hear from my chief? And I explained to him the importance of why the citizens need to hear from him because of this, that, and the third. And guess what? It's newsworthy. And you know what he do? He'll get his chief in there. He'll talk to his chief. And not just because Mike Magazine said it, but because it makes sense. Right? Because it makes sense. Call my mayor, ask him about me. And I ask the tough questions to my own mayor. Can't baby him up. Cute as a button. Cute as a button, my mayor is. Listen. And he's a part of that same organization as BDL, right? So you don't have to wonder if he's pretty. Fresh, baby. Fresh. He stays fresh. But he's smart. And he listens. And if I was a PR person for Ken Cox, I would move right away on a virtual town hall meeting. Why virtual? Because in gauging the temperature of what happened at the board meeting, I wouldn't want everybody in the same room or coming back. And guess what? Everybody who needs to be in the room probably won't be there, but everybody has a grandbaby. Everybody has a niece, a cousin who can allow them the opportunity to get on and listen, right, to a virtual town hall meeting. Benny Thompson, he's had one, right? He also goes on tours. But being new, that would be my first thing. After this agenda, because this is Ken Cox's agenda, I would do a virtual town hall meeting open to the public, but asking specifically for the people of the wards who voted no, right? Those board members. Hey, we need you guys. And if you don't know your ward, see, he needs to put a campaign out there. Hey, this is your ward. If this is your street, this is your ward. If this is your street, this is your ward, right? I always talk about educate the people, right? You're going to do a virtual town hall meeting, do it. But in the meantime, put the information out there. Ward 1, this is your person, because some people may not even know who's voting on their behalf, right? Now is a perfect time to call them to the front, right? Not only that, what I would do if I was his PR person, I would go from ward person or board member to board member. Hi, everybody. My name is such and such, and I am your representative for ward whatever, right? Friendly faces. See, it's a way you marry the two, but it's going to take wisdom to do it, right? Get them to that virtual town hall meeting. And don't just do one. If the virtual town hall meeting is a success, do another one in person. I can't give y'all all my information. Look. I get paid for this. I get paid for this. Listen. Let me finish this up and we're going to go. But definitely we'll want to hear from the people who the board members voted on behalf of. Allow them a voice and take that into consideration, right? I'm serious. I'm very serious. Because if you say no, let's hear from the people you say you represent. All right. Now, number 13. Resolution approving the appointment of Charles Brooks to the Hospital Commission. Number 14, resolution approving the appointment of Dr. Margie B. Pulley to the Hospital Commission. Both were tabled. 13 and 14 were tabled. We got 4 more and we're going to go. Resolution of the City Council of the City of Greenwood authorizing the appointment of Antoine Williams as the acting director of Parks, Recreation, and Grounds. No. That was number 15. Number 16 says resolution of the City Council of the City of Greenwood, Mississippi, authorizing the appointment of Linda Osborne as the acting city clerk. Yes. And with her, let me take a look at my notes. That's for 90 days. Same as what would be for B-Dale, 90 days. 90 days. But again, you got to remember, and we don't know why the board members did what they did, but you got to remember, when we're talking about an interim, they usually just grandfather them on in. And maybe they are trying to dodge that bullet. Maybe they don't want to grandfather him on in because there's so many legalities go with that. Right? Because they might say, we don't want him. And he might say, well, I'm going to get an attorney. And I'm going to fight for this position because I should have it. And maybe they're trying to dodge an imaginary bullet. I don't know. But we do know when you are interim, they usually just go on and grandfather you on in. And again, that's why I would have a virtual town hall meeting to hear from the people, right? And you should have a place on the agenda where the citizens get to speak. Now, I would encourage those citizens to come forth and say, put me on the agenda. I'm from this man's ward. I'm from this woman's ward. And I need to say something, right? Put them on the agenda. If the virtual town hall meeting was a success, go to a physical, in-person town hall meeting, and then go to the agenda so that it would be on the record. Ask them to put you on the agenda. Right? Because people are concerned. These are real concerns. Most people didn't feel that room for no reason. We are going to get I'm sorry. We're going to get down to the bottom of this agenda. We got two more, and then I am going to make a call. We're going to get our person on, who I told you we had, Alan Thomas Mitchell. All right, and resolutions for number 17, it says resolution authorizing the development of a job description for the position of Director of Parks, Recreation, and Grounds for the City of Greenwood. They voted no. And number 18, a proclamation of a state of local emergency, implementation of a juvenile curfew, ban on ski masks in public, and operating restrictions on late night establishments. They voted no. And again, their virtual town hall meeting is very important. And again, I'm just giving away a lot of information. But he, if he doesn't have a PR person, he needs one. Give me just a second. We're going to call up our person and get him on the line. Calling. Welcome to the show, Alan. How are you?
Oh, doing great. How are we doing today?
We're doing fine. Welcome to Greenwood Mornings. Angela Buckman here, the voice behind the mic, filling in for Lee Hall. Wanted to get your spiel on what's going on because we just went over everything. We had 8 yes, 8 no, 2 tabled. And I saw where you made a post on social media saying, oh, he didn't get anything. Let me get you to explain. Because I know in Greenwood, we get a little emotional, man. We're serious, but what I want people to understand is this before I let you speak is, yes, Ken Cox is Black. Mayor Ken Cox is Black, but he's the mayor for the entire city of Greenwood, right? And even the council, the board, they represent that respective ward, but they are voting the best interests of the people who they represent. Now, we had 8 yes, 8 no. And I think people were upset because public safety should have been at the forefront, trying to get an interim chief of police. And for whatever other reasons, they were upset, but the room was filled to capacity. And a shout out to the DMJ radio and GWOODLIVE for bringing that across. But I want people to know that we have a new mayor and we have to work as best as we can to marry the two. And we know marriage ain't always pretty. So explain your post and why you felt the way, because a lot of people shared that post. Mm-hmm.
Whatever the mayor wanted, she got it. And there was no need to really say, okay, well, if she didn't want this, she wasn't going to get it. It was always a yes. And to see the new elected mayor get denied a lot of the things that he wanted was very shocking to me, because it showed the hand and the voice of our city council. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, mm-hmm. it sent a message to Ken. So we're dealing with two different, how can I say, we're dealing with two different issues here. Mm-hmm. I think we're dealing with a lack of diplomacy, mm-hmm. On both parts. Mm-hmm. Let me get that straight.
Yeah, Claire, can you clarify what you mean when you say a lack of diplomacy on both parts? Because when I hear diplomacy, I'm thinking, hey, we got to reach across the aisle and be cordial about it. So unpack that for me.
Yeah. On the city council side, you're dealing with 16 plus years of relationship that they have with the former mayor. Mm-hmm. So their diplomacy is not just to embrace the new mayor, which I feel like that has not been fully conveyed or shown. Mm-hmm. The diplomacy of new administration has not been shown on the city council side. Mm-hmm. And diplomacy on the new elected mayor side, he must make himself, how can I say, more humble, mm-hmm. more gradual, mm-hmm. Have more adequate, I'm looking for the right word. Mm-hmm. He must be more transparent and more approachable, mm-hmm. and not as a person, because I'm in authority, I can make decisions. Mm-hmm. If you got two bulls in a fight, mm-hmm. and both of them in blood, where's the diplomacy? Mm-hmm. And because I have the power to with this, should I always implement that power, mm-hmm. because I can? Mm-hmm. And see, we're dealing with two newly situations. So now diplomacy must be put on the table. Mm-hmm. We should have some type of decorum about ourselves, mm-hmm. when it comes to trying to come together on the reaching out to all the branch guys come from both sides. Mm-hmm. So there's no diplomacy, mm-hmm. is shown on both sides, on either side, on Ken or the city council.
Okay, well,
I'm not the person that's going to stand for right. I don't care who it is. Mm-hmm. It can be my mom in the city council. If she ain't doing right, I'm going to tell her. My dad. It don't matter who it is. My pastor. Mm-hmm. If it's not a diplomacy, decorum is not used, I'm going to call it out. I don't have no black and white issue. I have a right issue.
I want to say, right. Okay, you say you're gonna stand for right, and this again, people. For those who are just tuning in, you're listening to Alan Thomas Mitchell, who is weighing in on the discussion of what happened on yesterday at the town hall meeting, or the city board meeting, where Mayor Ken Cox pushed forward his agenda and the things that he asked for. And so Alan is giving his narrative on what it is that he has observed. We have a comment here that I didn't get a chance to read, but it's in favor of Mayor Cox. And it says, Mayor Cox has mentors and is an excellent student. He is one of the most strategic people around. He is a master of his emotions and is always encouraged, as he is persistent in his desire to move the city forward. Now, what you're seeing as arrogance may come across as passion for some, right? Now, and I know it's not an attack on Mayor Ken Cox from you. I want to say this. Mayor Ken Cox, in my opinion, is very approachable. Now, he is stepping into a different, he's wearing a different hat now. How about that? And he's new to this, and he must be mindful of what he puts in a text message, He must be mindful of what he says, because you can get in trouble so easy in this position. In my opinion, I think he's probably, he could be guarded. Based on what you're saying, he could be a little guarded. And also, we know that in politics with an administration, you get to bring in your own administration. Now, I know you said that because you have the power to do certain things doesn't mean that you need to automatically do it, right? But I said to Lee on this show shortly after Mayor Cox was declared the winner, and that the former mayor conceded. And that's important too for the council to know, because you're making a great point. If she went on and bowed out gracefully and said, hey, listen, I'm bowing out gracefully and I'm handing over everything. I don't need anybody to count any votes for me. I don't need anybody in an uproar. To me, listen, that in itself was former Mayor Adams saying, is it Mac Adams or Adams? Mac Adams saying, hey, listen, y'all, let's do the right thing to move this city forward. And, you know, you probably voted for her, you know, not you particular. People may have voted for her and didn't vote for Cox. But to me, when she bowed out gracefully, that spoke volumes, because you have people that say, oh, they cheated. They did this and they did. She didn't do that. Let's give her credit. Listen, people probably don't want to hear what I'm saying, but let's give her credit for bowing out gracefully. So that narrative has got to catch up. It's got to run and play catch up with the board, right? Those who have worked with her, I think he said 16 years. They have got to, that narrative needs to grow wings and fly. Shoot, because running ain't gonna catch it. They need that narrative needs to fly to the board, right? Because that's what I can. And I cover elections all the time. That in itself says, hey, I didn't win, but I am for Greenwood. I don't think she hated Mayor Ken Cox, right? And I don't think the board hates Mayor Ken Cox. But you got to remember now, you got a new parent. And when you got a new person in town, right, you got to, or even with the adoption or the foster parent, or however you want to, this is the only narrative I can think of, a parent, right? When you got that next parent that's going to take you on over into your other realm of your success in Greenwood, it's not going to be easy, because you're going to revert back to, well, we didn't used to eat popcorn at the movies. We ate it in our beds, you know, when we watched our movies. You know, we didn't go to the movies. Well, maybe Mayor Ken wants to take you to the movies and let you eat your popcorn there, as opposed to just being at home all the time, eating it from your bed, right? He's trying to apply a different approach. Now, you might not like it, but you're going to get in this car, right? This is me now. This is me. You're going to get in this car and we're going to the movies, right? I don't care if you close your eyes, you plug your ears, but we're going. And when we get there, we're going to stay until the movie is over. We're going to come back. You're going to be provided with popcorn. Now, whether you eat it, that's on you. But I'm trying to give you that same popcorn that you know that you eat when you watch these movies. I'm still going to give you that popcorn, right? Now, whether you eat it or not, that's on you. But my thing is this: let's go to the movies. Allow me to step in and help you. Because the last parent, they said, hey, I'm giving you over. The last parent could have said, no, I'm going to fight for custody. She didn't fight for custody. She understood the assignment. And that narrative needs to catch up with the board. It needs to right away. It needs to catch up, because I know it's going to be uncomfortable. right? Because he may not laugh at every joke that the former parent laughed at. It's going to have to grow on him, right? He's going to have to grow on them. He may tell a joke and they may not think it's funny, like the former parent told, right? But the narrative needs to catch up because she didn't fight for custody, people. She didn't. What do you got to say, Alan? Because I'm getting emotional here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
You got to get the team on board with the new plays I'm trying to make. And as I'm the new coach, I got to assure the players that, hey, we going to make we got a new playbook, and it's not going to hurt you, it's going to help you. So my job is to be very diplomatic
Mm-hmm.
and not dogmatic in my approach to get the players to see that if you follow me, I'll take you to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me, I'll take you to the championship.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have new rings for everybody. But how you convey that message? But if you convey that message is, as a standpoint, I'm the new mayor and I'm coming in, or I'm the new mayor and I can make these decisions, or I'm the new mayor and I'm a bulldog my way. See, they may have taken this approach as a bulldog way.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, Andrew. What we might have not seen, and we may not even know, how it have the mayor and the city council had their one-on-one to talk and to introduce. Let me introduce myself. Let me introduce my plan to you one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And even when you get in public, and if you vote, how you vote, but at least I'd have had my one-on-one with you to say, hey, look, my job here is to make this city go forward. How you vote is how you vote. I'm not trying to change your vote. I'm trying to introduce myself to you so we won't look like enemies in public.
Mm-hmm.
Because from what I see, the mayor and the city council, they look like enemies. And anybody can tell me from different areas, oh, if they see this thing different than I see, it look like black, white, red, green, purple, and orange against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So if we cannot change the narrative of getting the people to come on one accord, so look at that. Look, I know I hear all this thing talking on the phone. Listen, until we get the whole narrative correct, we're not going to be able to move this city forward. This city is going to be a standstill like it is right now, because everybody is trying to feel like to me like everybody knows what's going. So, Andrew, until we get this insured, until we get the coach, until we get the players on one accord, where's the diplomatic diplomacy? Where's the people that are going say, hey, we're going to be for Greenwood, the great people. Now, I watched the live, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the live, and the young lady said, the mayor has been at every event, every forum. He showed up at every meeting. And one thing I know that speaks volumes,
mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to wear my bear out.
Mm-hmm.
In America,
Mm-hmm.
he needs to work for the city.
Mm-hmm.
Not be at all these events. I'm sorry.
I think
He needs to create forums for the people to come to address. So what we need to do is go down to City Hall and say, hey man, we need a meeting. We need to do a town hall meeting about the murders and killings
mm-hmm.
and blah, 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 at your convenience.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to stay on your neck until you do it. To give us a voice to come tell you about our concerns.
Mm-hmm.
That's what needs to be done. You don't need to be in every part. Stop the violent rallies. No. You not being a mayor to the city. You being a mayor to certain people. They're speaking aloud and got the big, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No. You got white folks, black folks, Mexican folks, you got Asian folks. I need to be a mayor to this city.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a mayor to certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he can't hate him out black. He a good man. No, he ain't a good man. They don't make him a good man because he comes to one platform.
Mm-hmm.
He'll put time from the whole city and came to your platform. He needs to be strategizing for the whole city.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to create a platform on his agenda, on his time, that give you a voice to discuss your issue from your section of the crime, gun violence. He needs to create these forums and invite the city home.
Okay.
We going to work. If I'm telling you, if I was the mayor, I would not be at all these forums.
Okay.
I create a forum that you can fight down to my forum.
Mm-hmm.
But me coming running like a chicken with my head cut off,
Mm-hmm.
I will not.
Mm-hmm. And thank you so much for that. And again, I wanted to go right back to this narrative that needs to grow wings and catch up to the board. The former mayor did not fight for custody. You like to use the analogy of the coach. I like to use the analogy of the parent, right? The foster parent, right? And some foster parents, I'm told, are not good, right? And some go on to adopt those babies later, right? Now, I hear you say he needs to introduce himself one-on-one to each board member and his plan as to what it is that he is looking forward to do and moving forward and trying to, in his attempt to move Greenwood forward. Now, with that, I'd like to say, I can't say it enough, because if he is going to everybody's events, everybody has an event for him to, hey, let's have a black tie event. Come over here, come over there, stretching them this, that, and the third. No. Listen, it's time to hit the ground running. I agree with you. And my thing is this, I'm not his PR person, but as a PR person, my first thing would be after this meeting would be to have a virtual town hall meeting, right? So that the people from those respective wards know that no was said to 8 things on his agenda, and to hear from them, right? This is your ward. This is your person who represents you. They voted no for B-Dale. They voted no for the Antoine Williams. They voted no to the proclamation for the state of local emergency, implementation of juvenile curfew, ban on scheming. They voted no to public safety issues. They voted no. When I say public safety issues, I'm saying they need a chief. They need an interim chief. right? They voted no to public safety. And so that town hall meeting will be to discuss the no's. We're grateful for the 8 yeses, but we need to hear now from the people in a virtual town hall meeting why no was said, and if that truly represents who they are in those respective wards. Now, I'm not his PR person, but I'm listening to you, and this is how I'm feeling as well, right? We're thinking alike. And as his PR person, I would tell him, no, you set the tone, brother. You hold the events. The ball is in your court. You have a function and invite the general public for free. You bring them in. Don't you dare go here, there, and everywhere. No, don't do it. And so with that being said, bring in your ward people. They do it in Greenville. Bring your ward people in, your also your board members. I say do a campaign. He needs a campaign where he, for the first 3 months of his term, every 3 months he needs to run a different campaign. And again, I get paid for this type of stuff, so I'm not gonna keep giving this stuff out for free, right? You know what I'm saying? Listen, brother, I can help you, bro. Hey, listen, I have helped grow elections. You listen, yeah, it's gonna cost you, but I can drop these nuggets. You know what I'm saying? Because I love Greenwood. I lived in Greenwood more than once. You know, I lived in LaFleur County, and I want to see them move forward, just like what you're talking about, right? And so that town hall meeting would be to his advantage, because you get to get the concerns of the people, and don't have them write it down on paper and somebody else read it. Allow them a time frame to speak on their own. And for those who are a little timid or shy, who have a concern, let them have their question read, right? Don't shut them down and let somebody else read their question and get to the question if they think it's important, right? I truly believe Greenwood can thrive with the board, the existing board that they have, as long as that narrative catches up to the point where they understand that former Mayor McAdams did not fight for custody. She could have, but she didn't. And so with that, like you said, she was very diplomatic. She was very diplomatic. And we need them to understand that. And yes, you're going to miss her. But Mayor Ken Cox's leadership style is probably different from hers. And what I say about leadership style, everybody has their own leadership style. I respect you as a leader, and your leadership position may not understand your style and why you do what you do, but that's your style. The former parent, shoot, y'all can eat all over the house as long as you pick up behind yourself. Put all your clothes in the basket in the bathroom, and we'll wash them at the end of the week. Mayor Ken Cox may say, no, as you take your clothes off, wash them. This is what's going to help us stay organized so the clothes don't pile up. This, his parenting style or as I say, leadership style is totally different. And again, we have to remember, she did not fight for custody. She could have. The courts are there. The courts are available. The election commission was there to go through the democratic process to count those votes if necessary. She didn't see necessary to do it. And so as long as we can keep that thing going, and then we can get somewhere. Yes, these babies may not like the new parent, but he will grow on them, is what I'm saying. By Christmas time, everybody, check this out. Everybody is going to get something, in the house. It's going to be something under the Christmas tree for everybody, right? Because good parents still reward their babies. But go on. And on the mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is correct. Everybody will get something. That's the key. You got to remember that as the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just feed the black community. You got the white community. You got a small population Mexican community.
Mm-hmm.
Small community. You have to be the mayor to the city, not just black,
Mm-hmm.
not just black. What's going to be the greater good for Greenwood? That's my thing. What is the greater good for Greenwood? What is the greater good for Greenwood?
And I agree with you.
And that's the motto that I was stamped on my desk as I was a member. What is the greater good for Greenwood?
Mm-hmm.
That would be my stamp. Every decision that I make, if it's not for the greater good, it's no good.
I want to read. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay.
I'm gonna say it like this. My personal relationship with the former mayor, it did not have no issue. Now that may not be the narrative for the 88 or 98% of Greenwood, but my relationships are built individually and not collectively.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say his approach should be build a relationship individually with each board member. Have that one-on-one. And if we still disagree with him publicly, at least he tried.
Yes.
At least I made myself a favor and not look like it's a pissing contest right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we all do. And here's the last thing I want to say, because I got to get church done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm pretty slow.
Me too.
Look. So they said, somebody posted the candidates that he chose for public works, for chief, and the candidate he chose for the fire department. It was said loosely thrown out there, candidates was not qualified. Now, here's the thing. One is already working in capacity as an assistant fire chief right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean the one y'all chose to be an assistant is not qualified?
Mm-hmm.
So do he need to be the assistant? So why leave him as the assistant if he's not qualified?
Mm-hmm.
The public works person he chose, I don't know him. As we said, he has a lot of credentials, and then I personally talked to him about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why did they say no one here? That is left up to public opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any yay or nay on that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Some put out there and said during the term of holding office things, we always bring up his past. And here's the thing: if we always bring up people past, how can we let people move forward?
Mm-hmm.
It's still their president. If we give them a chance and they're president, and they do the same thing they pass, we have the option to fire people. We have the option to terminate people. It's not a permanent position. If he's the chief and he don't do good, we can automatically just, we gotta get you out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't even, that vote didn't even, that thing didn't even get off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It was more serious, and it went dead in the water.
Well.
So, Anderson, I love you, good. You have a great platform. I love.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I say it again.
I want the list order to be put somebody around all of you that know how to pray, to seek an answer from the Lord. We're not going to be able to run the city without God. You can try, but without the Lord on your side, you're not going to be able to do it. And that's my view for the day.
Thank you so much. Your input means a lot. You are right there in Greenwood, in the thick of everything. You are very active in the Greenwood community, and we truly appreciate you and your input, man. And I know you're an entrepreneur, and you got to get out there and continue to do what you do, because we do know when you work for yourself, you work a little bit harder, right? Listen, thank you so much. All right, drop the call. Okay. And you were just listening to Alan Thomas Mitchell, who just came on and gave his perspective on what is going on. Now we're going to bring on Marcellus Gray. Some of you all may know Marcellus. He has done great things in the Greenwood community. I mentioned Sherrod Reed. Sherrod does great things in the community. I think they have gotten together and worked together before. Give me just a second, and we're going to bring Marcellus Gray on. Good morning, Marcellus.
How you doing?
Doing good. Give me just a second. I'm going to play I need to play some commercials, and we'll be right back, okay? All right.
Medicare. Are you turning 65 or new to Medicare? Part A and B. If so, you may qualify for additional benefits at no cost to you. Are you a veteran with Medicare Part A and B? If so, you may qualify for additional benefits at no cost to you. Call your local licensed professional agent, Juanita Lacey Larry. Don't hesitate. Call her today, 662-515-9414. Your local agent is waiting for you, 662-515-9414. That's Juanita Lacey Larry, 662-515-9414.
What you're doing right now, and download the GWOODLIVE app. It's absolutely free. There's no cost. I'll say it again. It's absolutely free. It's your way to stay connected and stay involved in the community. Download the GWOODLIVE app on your Apple or your Google Play. Stay connected, stay positive, stay involved. Download the GWOODLIVE app today.
Marcellus.
Yes, ma'am.
I need you to mute your phone for a second, please. Beat the summer heat at Cypress Hills Resort in Greenville, Mississippi. At Cypress Hills Resort, summertime is a fun time where you and your family can take advantage of the newly remodeled swimming pool. Membership is affordable, but space is limited, so hurry. Join in person at the pool house and then take a splash for only $350 per family. If you're looking to turn your special event into a reality, Cypress Hills Resort can help with that too. Give Alyssa a call today. Traditional radio is becoming a thing of the past. No need to panic. There's no need to fear. The DMJ broadcast ministry of Daryl Moore Jr. is here, ready to help you navigate yourself right into some inspiration, laughter, and motivation. Because after all, it is an inspirational radio station. Allow us to help you get through your night, day, week, month, and the entire year. To get through, call 662-947-1773 or scan the because accidents can happen anytime, anywhere. You might need an attorney named Malik Z. Shabazz with 26 years personal injury experience, providing nationwide services. Attorney Malik Z. Shabazz has collected millions for his clients, and you could be next. Call today, 301-513-5445. Know your rights. Call Attorney Malik Z. Shabazz today. Rosie's Workshop is a Mike Magazine's official small business choice for Tumblr designs. Place an order with Rosie's Workshop. Don't stress yourself. Rosie can do it. You can't think of a gift to get someone, whether it's a teacher, friend, church member, you name it. You should consider today going to Rosie's Workshop. That's Rosie Blackshire at rosiesworkshop@gmail.com or on Facebook. 662-635-3029. Call today. Beat the summer heat at Cypress Hills Resort in Greenville, Mississippi. At Cypress Hills Resort, summertime is a fun time where you and your family can take advantage of the newly remodeled swimming pool. Membership is affordable, but space is limited, so hurry. Join in person at the pool house and then take a splash for only $350 per family. If you're looking to turn your special event into a reality, Cypress Hills Resort can help with that too. Give Alyssa a call today. Whether buying or selling a home, Dr. Deborah Dace has the blueprint. At Exit Southern Charm Realty, Dr. Deborah Dace is there to assist you. Dr. Dace is not just a realtor. She's an award-winning realtor who can make investing in your future home a breeze. This process should never be complicated. Allow her to put you in the home of your dreams. And she can also help you sell your home. Either way, enjoy your key to happiness and give Dr. Dace a call today.
Medicare. Are you turning 65 or new to Medicare? Part A and B. If so, you may qualify for additional benefits at no cost to you. Are you a veteran with Medicare Part A and B? If so, you may qualify for additional benefits at no cost to you. Call your local licensed professional agent, Juanita Lacey Larry. Don't hesitate. Call her today, 662-515-9414. Your local agent is waiting for you, 662-515-9414. That's Juanita Lacey Larry, 662-515-9414.
Oh, all right. And we are back. Marcellus, welcome to Greenwood Mornings. Thank you so much for weighing in on the topics. I see where you made some comments on our Facebook page, and we did flash your comments across the screen. But we do have you here. And so tell us how you feel about what happened at the board meeting on yesterday.
Well, what I see is that it's time to replace some people. You know, if we don't realize what's going on, what I basically took from what was said yesterday is these people don't care nothing about us.
Okay. For those who are just tuning in. Okay, for those, hold on, Marcellus. For those who are just tuning in, you are listening to Marcellus Gray. His name is up on the screen right there in the comment section where it says he can't do it alone. Carry on, Marcellus.
You know, if we don't come together to to support the things that he's trying to put in place, and also try to get the support from him. He's only one man that's trying to fight. Do the things that need to be done around here. We got to get out and help him too. We can't come to get on here and talk about him bad, tell him about he's not a right man. But the thing is, will you be the right man? I just sat back and listened to a couple of the conversations, the comments that people have, made, over since last night. Mm-hmm. Man, we got to think about Man, they ain't safe nowhere around here.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, if we don't do nothing to try to make it safe, man, can't no one want somebody to do it. The police can't do it alone.
Okay. You said that initially when you began to speak that some people need to be replaced. Is that what you said?
Exactly.
Why do you say that?
You know, if they ain't for the betterment of the people, then why should they be on the move?
Now, let me ask you this. How do you feel about the idea of having a virtual town hall meeting to actually hear from the people? Because they probably, in fact, voted on behalf of what the people wanted. We don't know. But I believe a virtual town hall meeting will clear the air and allow the people who they vote on behalf of to speak up. What do you think?
No, everybody ain't gonna show up.
A virtual?
A virtual?
Yes.
Now, you might get people to show up, but the thing is, they're gonna speak up.
I don't think people are afraid to, in this day and age, speak up, because we have a lot of people who are now speaking out. Even people are speaking against the president of the United States, his own people. And so virtually, I truly believe that would be an effective way to get a feel of if this no truly represented what the board members voted for. Is this something that you guys truly wanted? So now is your opportunity. This virtual town hall meeting will be the opportunity for them to speak up, because we do know this: silence is consent. So if they don't speak up, then no definitely represented them to the utmost by way of that board member. What do you say?
It needs to be addressed. It needs to be, they need to hear. I think from last night, they see that's how these people lead up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe that, let me say this. I believe that if Mayor Ken Cox allows an opportunity for a platform where everybody can come and listen, right? Whether if it comes from his desk, if he has something coming from his desk, all right, or where he can have maybe GWOODLIVE there and cover it again, because that's where we got the coverage from, GWOODLIVE. And of course, I want to let everybody know that we can't do this for free. We really need you to donate to GWOODLIVE on Cash App at $1 GWOODLIVE. And again, I would love for the people to be able to go right back to the same platform and watch the virtual town hall meeting, right, where we have the board members there, and however the mayor would like to figure it out, him and his people in his administration, and allow the people to say in the comment section, and someone read those comments and not skip over comments on a public platform, right? Don't skip over people's comments, whether it's favorable or not. At least let them speak, and let someone who is professional, who won't get emotional, just only read what they see. Because what I'm finding is, and the only reason I say virtual is because we're getting emotional now. And it's not time to be emotional. It's time to hit the ground running and making certain that we have a public safety strategy in place, an interim in place who can push this stuff forward. Because anytime you're voting no, right, to a proclamation of the state of local emergency, implementation of a juvenile curfew, ban on ski masks, which, let me tell you, Jackson just voted yes on a ban for ski masks. Okay. And so if you got people who are voting no for operating restrictions on late night establishments, we need to know why. And so that virtual town hall meeting will bring clarity to us as reporters, because and to citizens to know why you said no, right? And if that no truly represents the people who are going to be attending that virtual town hall meeting, that's something that I would push for. Now, I don't know. Mayor Ken Cox may not even care to have to hear from the people in those different wards. I don't know, but that was just a suggestion. What do you say? Mm-hmm.
Really need to hear from the people.
Mm-hmm.
Because we gotta live in this town with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, our changes matter.
Let me ask you something, Marcellus. What kind of chief would you like to see in Greenwood?
You say what type of people?
What kind of police chief would you like to see in the city of Greenwood?
One that gonna be one that gonna be stern and I want to on his job.
Mm-hmm. Does he need to look good? He needs to be good looking.
You say what?
I said, does he need to be good looking? Because I'm not blind now. The mayor is really handsome. Does the chief of police need to look good?
Man, looks don't matter when he's doing the right job.
Uh-huh.
No, they just like you can be out here and be a city worker.
Uh-huh.
It ain't how you dress, it's the way you come.
Uh-huh.
It can be a good looking dude, and get what? He might not get up in there and do nothing.
Yeah.
He might not want to get his shirt dirty. Somebody that ain't gonna be afraid to get down and dirty and do the job that needs to be done to take control of the street.
Marcellus, you say, hold on, let me make sure I heard you correctly. You say he may not want to get his shirt dirty, because the shirt is white, right? Yeah. So in all seriousness, though, you said that we need a chief who understands what's going on in Greenwood, right? We need somebody who cares enough to get out of the office and come see about the people. That's what I would like to see. That's what I would like to see. Get out of that office. We applaud you with your white shirt. That's cool. But when we think about Greenwood, we don't want somebody who's going to be there and seemingly sometimes they get bit by a bug, if you will, a power bug. We don't need that. We need somebody who's going to understand the importance of what is happening in Greenwood and not only just about crime, but community policing. And he's supposed to be the police chief for the entire city, North Greenwood on down, right? And so we need someone who's not going to turn his nose up at the people of Greenwood, because Greenwood has real issues. We got real issues. And not only that, we need a chief who is going to be considerate enough to know that not every 911 call is an emergency, and don't beat our people up because of it. But we're trying to make certain that what's important to us is important to that chief and his workers, because we got a lot of people, Marcellus, and we talk about this a lot of people who may be undiagnosed as it relates to mental illness, right? And we don't want you beating up our cousins and our aunties and our church members because they are off of their medicine. So I think we need a chief who understands how to make certain that he puts his officers in front of qualified people, instructors who can teach how imperative it is to live and cohabitate with citizens in Greenwood. What do you think?
If if we can get a team like that, ooh, man, we'll be getting a dial.
I'm telling you. Marcellus.
No, I like Crab. Hello.
Go on. I'm listening.
I like Crab, but the thing is, Crab can do the job that he was put there to do. He did the job that other people wanted him to do.
Mm-hmm. And with that being said, Marcellus, I would like to say, with a chief, the mayor is going to have his back. The mayor, let me tell you about the mayor in Greenville. My mayor, Eric Simmons, he has the back of his chief of police. Since that curfew has gone in effect for the juveniles, he brags. Listen to me, because I go to him for follow-ups and updates. He brags that the crime has gone down 51%. The shooting has gone down 51% in Greenville. So when I say a chief, it needs to be someone who the mayor respects and will have his back, because it's not going to always be easy. But the mayor's going to have to be able to say, listen, yeah, he may have said it like that, or he may have done it this way, but I promise you, if you trust the process, we're going somewhere. We're going places. Give us a minute. Give us a minute. And even with an interim, I would even say bring in an interim who the mayor respects, who he will have the back of the interim chief, right? And the thing is, allow him to be the chief. Don't tie his hands. Because what I'm hearing you say, Marcellus, is the former chief did as he was told. But a chief is a leader, and he's supposed to be proactive and have his own ideas. What do you say?
Yeah. If you ain't got your own idea, you ain't the right person for it.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't walking on your own, how you gonna lead them?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way I'm gonna sit back and watch my community that I sworn to the oath to protect and serve go down.
Mm-hmm. Marcellus. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't think about the next person.
Mm-hmm.
How what the next person going through. That's a lot of reasons why they take these, they put a person in a position, and then they don't allow them to use their authority or their thinking to do the things that they need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these crimes that going on in all these cities could have been stopped.
Listen, when I think of a new administration, right, I think of someone who's wise enough to know that I'm not bringing in buddies. I'm bringing in qualified people who can help move this vision forward, regardless of what color they may be. Maybe a Hispanic person or Latino person. It could be somebody who's Italian. Could be somebody who's black, white. Get them in here and watch them work. What does Glorilla say? Let me cook. Let Ken Cox cook. Allow him an opportunity. And like you said, he cannot do it alone. That's why he needs to be able to place people around him. Now, I'm not with no buddy system now. I'm not with buddies. I don't care if that person is from out of town, if they're from in town, but let this person be someone who, because usually they will bring the interim in and grandfather them on in as a chief, but let this be a person you will allow to be the chief.
Brother Babe, we went up, to the mayor's office, had a sit down and talk with him.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that the mayor brought, to the forefront, which is he trying to, what he's trying to do, it's lovely. It's a advancement for Greenwood.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't get the people to still be in and help them out, none of the dreams and the plans that he had for this time will ever come true.
Marcellus, I want to reiterate something I said prior to you joining us on the morning show. Listen, I need the narrative to catch up to the board members that when the race was over, former Mayor McAdams said, hey, I bow out gracefully, right? She didn't fight for custody of them, right? She could have, but she didn't, Marcellus. She didn't. Okay. How do you feel?
No, she was ready to be that.
That's right.
If she wanted to be married again, she would have contested. She would have built it. She would have did everything in her power, say that, hey, this wasn't no fair race. But instead, she congratulated her for being no win, and proudly got out the way.
And listen, we need that narrative to grow wings. I said they need to run and catch up to the board. That narrative needs to grow wings and catch up to the board. And they're familiar with her style of leadership. And like you said, Mayor Ken Cox cannot do this alone, right? If you're out there and you want to leave a text message for us, the number is 662-207-2077. We're getting ready to go. But if you want to chime in, you can chime in on social media, on Facebook with the Mike Magazine, on YouTube, or you can leave us a text message and we can give you a call if you would like to call in, right? 662-207-2077. Again, that narrative needs to catch up to the board, and they're used to her. And Alan Thomas Mitchell made a good point. She's been with them 16 years, so many terms, right? And they're used to the way that she has done things. But, it's time to allow the new parent to step in, the foster parent, I like to say, and let that new parent show you a new way. And by Christmas, I promise you, everybody will have something under the Christmas tree. Everybody. That's the only analogy I know to use, man. We don't always agree with the parent, the person who's in charge. They even have a thing where they call the fun parent. I'm not the fun parent. I'm not. My husband is more so the fun parent than I am. I'm so serious. He showed me a TikTok yesterday. We were riding along to Jackson, and it says, the wife walks in and said, "What are you about to do?" And the guy says, "Whatever you tell me to do, drill sergeant." Now, I'm not that bad. But if you ask my husband, he says, I think I'm a drill sergeant. But every parent is not the same. And she didn't fight for custody of you all. She didn't. She's telling you, go on with them. It's okay. She said, it's all right. Y'all might not agree with everything, but after a while, it's going to be good. I think his first agenda, he had 8 yes, 8 no, 2 tabled. You can't beat that. A win is a win, Marcellus. A win is a win.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for chiming in, brother.
I thank you for having me in.
Absolutely. What do you have coming up?
Right now, I'm in the process of trying to put something together.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't gave a name yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm reaching out to all the teams, in the community, to come out, and join me to help, try to do something for these kids.
Mm-hmm.
But once I come up with the name, I'll be glad to let you know.
Thank you so much, brother. Hey, stay active no matter what you do and continue to follow your vote. right, Marcellus, you can drop the call now. Thank you so much, brother. You too. And on that note, I want to say again, I know I'm not Lee Hall. But it was an honor to sit in for my mentor and continue on in his absence. And I've gone longer than Lee Hall ever would, probably. But it has been an honor and to sit in for him as a guest host on Greenwood Mornings. We had a lot of people tuning in on social media, from the Mike magazine, and it's just been truly great to hear. I even got a little emotional when we talked about the narrative, that diplomatic gesture, catching up and growing wings, right? And I don't want to rehash it because I'll cry, but I think a win is a win. A virtual town hall meeting is needed, is necessary. Hey, who am I? I'm just a guest host on Greenwood Mornings, right? And while we're talking about Greenwood Mornings and GWOOD Live, I want you guys to always consider to support independent media. Give a little here, give a little there. And guess what? At the end of the day, it all adds up. And we're working with something. Don't forget that Cash App, man. If you enjoyed what you heard today, drop $1, drop $1 on the Cash App. Just $1, right? $1 GWOOD Live. Angela Buckner here, the voice behind the mic. And I do a show called Delta Sip, where we sip slow and talk what we know. And now
we gotta
go. Angela Buckner here, the voice behind the mic, Delta Sip, where we sip slow and talk what we know. And now I gotta go. Thank you guys so much. Lee Hall will be back with you on tomorrow morning on Greenwood Mornings. Looking to travel the nation and become a successful entrepreneur, owner, operator? Just know that you are not alone. Look no further. The Bavella Collective is a one-stop shop. Bavella specializes in all of your trucking needs, making you owner-operator. When it comes to proper documentation for your initial setup, insurance coverage, truck maintenance, taxes, and more, leave the research to the Bavella Collective. There's no reason to hesitate. Schedule an appointment today with the Bavella Collective.
Sometimes untimely departures do happen. And when they do, rest assured that you can leave the planning to us here at Ashay Intimate Memories. At Ashay Intimate Memories, we provide the complete memorial package for all of your needs, including on the screen. We work closely with you to make certain that your desires are met professionally and in a timely manner. Ask about us at Bias Funeral Home.
Medicare. Are you turning 65 or new to Medicare? Part A and B. If so, you may qualify for additional benefits at no cost to you. Are you a veteran with Medicare Part A and B? If so, you may qualify for additional benefits at no cost to you. Call your local licensed professional agent, Juanita Lacey Larry. Don't hesitate. Call her today, 662-515-9414. Your local agent is waiting for you, 662-515-9414. That's Juanita Lacey Larry, 662-515-9414.
Beat the summer heat at Cypress Hills Resort in Greenville, Mississippi. At Cypress Hills Resort, summertime is a fun time. where you and your family can take advantage of the newly remodeled swimming pool. Membership is affordable, but space is limited, so hurry. Join in person at the pool house and then take a splash for only $350 per family. If you're looking to turn your special event into a reality, Cypress Hills Resort can help with that too. Give Alyssa a call today. Hey, listen, Angela Bugney here with another the moment everyone has been waiting for. Take a listen.
What Supervisor Brooks said, it is a lot of work to put this together, and we make it look easy because we do it and we've done it so long.
And now for the unveiling. And just like that, we have a winner, John Goodman of Little Rock, Arkansas. And he also won a $500 check. And for those who may be wondering who heads up the contest, it would be none other than Nettie Seard of Greenville, Mississippi. The poster was on sale at the unveiling and is still available. If you would like one, feel free to contact Chauncey Wright. And now a word from one of the sponsors.
The staff and Chauncey and your entire team, thank you for all that you do, and we're a staunch supporter of this organization, and we'll continue to do that. Just want you to know that we appreciate everything that all of you are doing, and thank you so much.
Watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have important information for our community, please send us videos and photos. If you need a professional commercial, let me know. Angela Bugney here, the voice behind the mic.
The Mike Magazine. Facebook is okay. However, YouTube is way better. Go follow my mom on YouTube.
That's right.
Like, subscribe, get notified. Timothy Buckner here, a voice behind the mic.
And remember, if you need a professional commercial, let me know. Angela Buckney here, the voice behind the mic.
The Mike Magazine. Facebook is okay. However, YouTube is way better. Go follow my mom on YouTube.
That's right.
Like, subscribe, get notified. Timothy Buckner here, a voice behind the mic.
And remember, if you need a professional commercial, let me know. Angela Buckney here, the voice behind the mic.